want to start with?
Starting with what? Oh, right. What happened? Smooth. Silky smooth.
Silky smooth.
Silky smooth.
We have Irie. Irie's-san now.
So how do you think Irie is going to
play a factor?
Play a factor.
He's gonna die.
He's gonna be our new Tomatake?
We remember.
I think so. I think he's gonna be the new Tomatake.
Well, I think we just have another death on our hands.
Yep.
Continue. Alright then, I'm off. Look out for cars! Be back before dinner time. Today was the last day of the barbecue party. That was the Hanamizawa Fighters victory celebration. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Though with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible that there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. Reina was already at her usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later. Great! Let's get going! This old man skipped breakfast and is starving to death. I expected nothing less. I too went without breakfast and am now in top physical condition.
Wow! You two! Skipping breakfast is bad for your health! Reina made sure to eat something!
Yeah, you're great, Reina. Breakfast is an important part of the day. I'm sure you'll surpass that unhealthy Mio and get yourself a nice, springy body and be all over the dirty magazines.
Oh, the dirty magazines! If I get a nice body, then maybe a prince on a white horse will come for Reina too! For Reina too?
Definitely not happening. If you won't take responsibility for them, Kei-chan, then don't give Reina any silly ideas. She might start eating breakfast 3 times a day starting tomorrow. Yeah, I can see Reina doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think she was going to come for her? Well, anyway, we're all nice and hungry. Let's go and treat ourselves at the big barbecue party.
You know what's bad?
What?
We're talking about barbecue party, and I haven't eaten in like 6 hours. So like,
yeah,
we're just gonna be talking about food. It's gonna make me more hungry.
Yeah!
Yeah!
The venue for said barbecue was to be the Furude Shrine Grounds where Rika-chan lived.
Each time you say barbecue, my mouth waters.
They held events and festivals there, and barbecues too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Namizawa.
Like,
but think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something?
Yeah.
The scenery you could see from that high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere particular to shrines was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. When we arrived at the shrine grounds, the Hanamizawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and began setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Satsuko and Rika-chan were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us. Oh, so you managed not to forget about this. Curses, if you all hadn't come, there would have been that much more meat for me. How truly disappointing it is. You underestimate us, Satsuko. Now that we've arrived, you don't think you'll be able to have even one bite of that fabulously marbled beef, do you? Remember when we ate our bento here? You and I have a fatal difference in reach. I'll be overwhelming you once again.
What? I cannot allow that to happen by any means!
Cry and shout all you want. You'll just be watching us fill our mouths with beef. Don't worry though. We'll give the peppers and onions to you. I'll give Satsuko lots and lots of the grilled squash too. When Satsuko heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't just a threat. It could actually happen. I'll go tell the coach. I'll tell him you really love squash. If it's for you, I bet he'll get a whole mountain of specialty squash from all over Japan. Wow, good for you, Satsuko. You'll have your pick of the squash. You can have squash from dawn till dusk, 3 meals a day. Reina! Everyone's bullying me! Satsuko tried to leap into Reina's chest. Oh no. Clearly, given another second, Reina's mock punches would have us piled on the ground. So just before Satoko hit Reina, I grabbed her by the nape of the neck and pulled her back. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Reina, when I caught the leaping, crying Satoko, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. Ba-ba-bam!
No, Kiichi-kun! This is Reina's, okay? I am taking her home. Well, Reina-san!
Beat up Mio and Rika like that too. well, hold on there. Bam, bam, bam! Okay. Now where could Rika be? There she is! Reina-san, over there!
Just wait, Satoko-chan! I'll take care of her right away. And I'm bringing you straight home.
Meep. Satoko, you're mean.
Oh! Rika-chan's so cute too! Oh, I'm gonna take her home.
Oh, Rika, it serves you right. Satoko laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Reina's unproductive game of tag while we watched them sprawled out on the ground. Ah, are you alright, Marabar-san? Sonozaki-san? The coach came over and lent us a hand. Yeah, this is just how we communicate, that's all. Don't mind us. If the way we communicate ends up leaving us bruises on my face, then I don't want any more to do with it. Oh, I think that's Keiichi. If the way we communicate ends up leaving bruises on my face, I don't want any more to do with it. You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. I'm gonna start to laugh too. Satoko's laughter, Rika-chan's yelling, and Reina's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. The adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the salad oil dripped down onto the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we all cheered again.
Wow! This meat looks amazing! Coach, you really did splurge on it!
I did make a promise. Can you tell how much all this weighs? It really did cost me a lot. Of course it did. Third-rate meat wouldn't be enough of a reward for everything I did yesterday.
Yeah! Satoko-chan's definitely the guest of honor today!
Yeah, Satoko was the one who hit the last home run after all. She might have caught the guy off guard, but the arc it flew was long and true. Satoko is pretty athletic. Not bad at all. She could be one of the best of our generation. She doesn't fall behind in physical ability even compared to me.
Maybe Satoko-chan has a big future in the world of sports.
Stop singing my praises. You're making me blush. Munch, munch. Satoko, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute. Marabar-san! This is heavy! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate. Whoa! Barbecue's protagonist has arrived! The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. Grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzled off. Gulp. You need a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they had grilled the whole plate at once. Yep, can't have a barbecue without some of these. You can say that again. How about two? So let's get it over there. Up we go.
Wow! Look! It's amazing!
Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and big pieces of meat on it. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. My left was a cup of juice I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you weren't a man. Ah, I can't hold back any longer. I'm gobbling it down. Not just yet, Kei-chan. We've got a little ceremony first. Uh-oh. Can I have your attention, everyone? The coach with a cup of beer in his hand mounted the nearby beer cooler. This is supposed to be a victory celebration after all. We need an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. For every second this goes on for, a little more of the food's freshness goes away. Whoa! Satoko stomped down on the back of my foot! My word. Men your age are so greedy. Can you not wait a little more elegantly? Is everything I'm thinking really showing in my face? Okay, is everyone listening? We won a huge game yesterday. It had become a hard battle after that amazing pitcher came in. But thanks to equally reliable saviors on our side, we scored a beautiful turnaround victory. Tap, tap, tap. Both my hands are full, so the adults and older brothers gave us a round of applause. This is to celebrate that victory. As promised, I got a ton of delicious meat for everyone. Eat as much as you want, use that energy on our next game. Then after a few words of thanks to the fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, let us in a toast. Cheers! They say that when toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup. But we were young. At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. After that, it got really lively with everyone congratulating one another for things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshin pitcher. Well, even what I did was all thanks to Satoko. Satoko did have a plan, but you're the only one who could have won over Kamina like you did, Kei-chan. You did more than enough to deserve praise.
By the way, Kiichi-kun, you went to eat cake with Kamina-kun after that, didn't you? You look like you were best friends.
The seeds of friendship sprouting between male rivals. Something like that.
It's sort of really...
I violently brushed through Reina's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. Now then, where was the hero, or rather heroine, Satoko? Oh, there she is! Satoko was with Rika-chan in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday, and her teammates spared no compliment for her since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from Koshin pitcher was something else. Satoko was more loquacious than usual, it seemed. She was in a great mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her. But she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Satoko going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. But both of those were the real Satoko. I didn't care which it was, her smiling happy or making a big lively fuss like this. Just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever. She looks like she was having fun. Quite a lot of it. Coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed at Satoko from afar, like I had been doing, he addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her. Doesn't it just cleanse your soul to see Satoko-chan smiling? He smiled, refreshed, searching for confirmation. I felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment I played it off. Really? I don't think your smile could cleanse as much as a plate. I'm sure Satoko-chan would be mad if she heard that. But that part of her is very cute too. Leaving cuteness aside, I can understand him thinking Satoko getting angry for being teased would be funny. Mr. Irie, was it? That's right. Everyone calls me Coach, though. I'd be very happy if you called me Coach as well, Marabar-san. As he said that, Coach Irie smiled, blushing a little. Coach, you seem to like Satoko a lot. I didn't have any real basis for saying that, it was just what I felt to be true. Yes, I do like her. I love her, in fact. When she gets older, I'm thinking of asking her to marry me. Whoa. What? Repo alert. This guy really says some insane stuff, doesn't he? After being astonished by this, I hurried to my mind back in order. Put my mind back in order. I heard that this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mian, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically won't be able to take it. If I was able to ignore that part of him, he seemed like he'd be a really funny guy. Huh? Marabara-san. Did that surprise you? Could it be you're going after Satoko-chan yourself?
Whoa!
That would bother me then. I've been going after her for decades now, you know? Coach, Satoko hasn't even been alive for much more than a decade. Huh? Coach gave a dry grin and laughed. Was this how I should be doing it? I must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. After that, I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. As that conversation was happening, leaving aside the controversial statements this coach person would spout suddenly, I learned he was very composed and not a bad guy by any stretch. I think Satoko deserves more praise for that crazy home run she got. Honestly, didn't think she had it in her. Satoko-chan's older brother was more the quiet bookworm type. She probably inherited the exact opposite skill set. Her brother? Right, he meant Satoshi. The one who left Satoko and ran away from home. Satoko's Nini. Satoshi Hojo. Do you not know about him? Satoko-chan's older brother, I mean. His name is Satoshi Hojo-kun. And he played with the Namizawa Fighters, too. I wanted him to play a little more, but then he transferred. Ugh. The word transferred in this series just makes me shudder. Huh. I see. So he transferred. Yeah, maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. Because you know what transferred means. Now that he mentioned it, I think it was Reina. I think she said Satoshi transferred too. I didn't know the details of him having run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but... Only her brother transferred? That's sort of unusual. Everyone having fun was far away, and their cheerful voices distant. The chorus of the cicada separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear. But for a really long time, Coach didn't respond to my words. So at this point, I began to wonder if I had said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke. Something unfortunate happened. A few things, actually. After informing me that what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk a little at a time.
This is gonna be the guy that tells us the story of...
It's been 3 years already. Right around this time of year, I think. Satoko-chan's parents were in an accident. An accident? Yes. At a public park they visited while on vacation. They fell from a viewing platform. It was supposed to be just to be a little time away from the house with the family. They went for a walk and on a path through a nature park after it rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage on which the tragedy was set. The metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time. And with all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Satoko's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There was a river some 10 meters below. Water level was high due to the rain, and apparently very muddy. And her parents? Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile and touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate the accident was, and how Satoko's parents had left on an eternal vacation. Then Satoko is... well... I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. A single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Satoko without having to say it aloud. Come to think of it, Satoko lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from others. Wait, Rika-chan. Her father died from illness too, and her mother soon after. I felt like I heard she was living by herself. Yes, she's living with Furude-san right now. They've probably lived many discouraging days without any parents, but they've gotten along by helping each other. Yeah. Going on living without the protection of parents is very difficult for kids that age, I think. Marabara-san, you can probably understand that as well. I've only survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod. Furude-san is particularly beloved by the older people in the village. As long as she's here, she won't want for much. Come to think of it, you're right. Rika-chan kind of seems like the village mascot sometimes. I don't think she'd have a hard time living here. Rika-chan could go meet just once and get 2 or 3 kokeis from a vendor after all. Felt like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would. That only applies to Furude-san in particular. Satoko-chan doesn't have it the same way. Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. Upon thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Satoko had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Was I really thinking that? No. I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There was no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I just kind of vaguely thought that it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Satoko was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Satoko said, "A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all." Those words held a lot more weight now. I've seriously considered adopting her. Huh? Adoption? It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger to his lips. I've lived a really steady life all these years. I own property, and I have credit. But marriage is the one thing I never got around to. By law, obviously, a single individual can't adopt a child. So I can't make Satoko-chan my adopted daughter. What a shame. Didn't take long for my plan to get her to call me Papa to hit a setback. This guy spouts some crazy stuff. At first I was only half listening, but midway through I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this one girl Satoko to be happy. That was neither crazy nor was it nonsense. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings. Satoko-chan's current lifestyle is probably not a very happy one. But, you know, I want to make it easy for her, even if it's only a little. Of course, I can't do much for her but share my leftover food and do errands that she's not strong enough to do. You're wrong. Satoko's happy. Huh? Coach showed surprise at my having declared that. There are so many people all around her that really want her to be happy. She can't possibly feel otherwise. I spoke with a serious expression quietly, but firmly all the same. It was my approval of his feelings and my gratitude to Satoko's Nini. Thank you. Still, keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? If she knew I wanted to adopt her, she'd probably get mad and call me a pervert for wanting me to call her Papa. I wonder. Satoko may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. She'd call him that. I knew it. As if my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, and returning his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family, had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Satoko Hojo. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way. She lived energetically with a smile. I want her to keep smiling forever. It was a naive wish, and yet it was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So, the words that I spoke were the same. What a coincidence. I think the same way. Oh, you too, Marabar-kun? Then that makes us friends. Let's make a promise. A promise? It's a very simple one. Coach said this, giving me a grin. That we will never, ever make her cry. It was short and to the point. Yeah, I promise too. Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Satoko and everyone else having a good time. She certainly lost family, but there were more people watching over her. How reassuring must that have been? Just hypothetically, if you did adopt Satoko, what would you do? That's a tough one. Coach gave a wry, happy smile, then exaggeratedly tilted his head in contemplation. Well, first I would get her to call me master, and re-educate her in the ways of maidservant. Huh. What? How does this guy always pick the craziest time to say the craziest things? Marabar-kun? I haven't said anything yet. What are you talking about? I heard it loud and clear. Oh, that's right. I clearly said I would put Satoko on a wooden bondage horse and make her my meat slave. Oh, that sounds nice. Satoko-chan on a wooden horse.
God.
Please leave the item using play for after she's acquired the proper knowledge. It would be very dangerous to go in with the wrong idea. I get it. They do always write on labels to only use things for their intended purpose after all.
Oh.
That's right. Kei-chan, you do understand. Then, with that, it's time for... My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, and about to leave by the nape of her neck. Hey, wait right there! Don't just show up out of nowhere and start saying crazy stuff.
Oh, that was Shion!
Yeah, that is Shion. You not recognize her?
Yeah, I remember now.
Speaking of crazy stuff, I thought the Satoko love talk you were having with the coach was pretty crazy too. I can perform a reenactment of the adoption bit. Wanna see? Ah! You've been hiding ever since then? Kei-chan, you can't even beat my sister. You're 100 years too early to challenge me. This was Shion Sonozaki, younger of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't a scrap of the reserved quality you expect from a little sister. She was a villain no better than her older sister, Mion. We met the other day in town and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for Mion. Unlike Mion, Shion said she was living in Okinomiya, so I thought we'd never see each other again, but to think we actually would. My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. This must be what people mean when they say something is like water off a duck's back. Shion-san, you came! I was disappointed because I thought you wouldn't make it. Well, I couldn't think of anything else to do, really. I figured I'd come back and tease you all a little. Coach, why did you need to call Shion to our victory celebration? How did she contribute to our team's win? Well, you see, I'm actually the manager for the Namizawa Fighters. The manager? No way! Then why were you at the game yesterday? That's because I'm like a ghost manager. Teehee. She seemed to think I'd forgive her if she stuck her tongue out and smiled. She wasn't sorry at all. The match wasn't nearly as pretty without you there. I won't tell you to come to practices, but couldn't you at least come to games to root for us like you used to? I'll think about it. Maybe I will if Kei-chan joins the Namizawa Fighters. I can't get into a cheering mood when there's no good-looking guys on the team. Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? Shion! You little... Where did you come from? Suddenly Mion came running over, latched onto my shoulder, and pulled me towards her.
Ah! It's Mii-chan's little sister! Hello, Shui-chan!
Hello, Reina-san. I'm honored you remember my name. We only met once.
Oh, not at all. Thanks for remembering Reina's name too.
Cut the stupid greetings. You're not allowed to solicit Kei-chan. He's the hope of our club. Don't pull him out and put him in baseball like he's some kind of plant. Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy.
Yep, Kichi-kun is the star rookie of our club. We can never trade him away.
Reina's smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. I felt like this was going to turn into a bloody battle. Huh. That's too bad. We'll leave the negotiations for another time. You don't have the right to negotiate. Coach, why did you call Shion here too? She's a ghost member. She's been slacking off for the last year. I just thought it would be even more fun if Shion was here. Yep, it definitely worked. That was what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished. Hey! Kei-chan, come over here. We're all playing a game. With strings attached, of course.
Shi-chan, how about you? The rules are simple and it'll be fun.
Should I? I'll just win if I join in, after all. I don't want to ruin my sister's presidential image. Mio, now irritated, turned around with a glare. What is it, my sister? Should I join in to make this a battle of the siblings? For your sake, I don't think we should, but if you want to. Bleh. I won't let you play Shion. We're leaving you out. Bleh. Whoa, you just avoided a direct confrontation. Seemed like the twins were completely incompatible with each other.
You won't let her play? I was looking forward to seeing you two face off.
I hate Shion. I'm bad against her. Angry Mion dragged me away. Slide. Do your best. I'll be rooting for you. Go for it, Kei-chan, yay! Shion waved her hand at us, reveling in the bliss of teasing Mion.
God.
Alright. Club activities have begun. Which meant I needed to clear my mind. What was today's battle? Today's punishment game? I'd take anything on. Okay, Keiji-san. You should prepare yourself. We're going all out today. Great, bring it on. Satoko or not, I'll crush you all mercilessly.
Rina will profit from your battle and fish yourself up a win.
I'll get all the manta rays first and ride them to victory.
Oh? Rigatone is like a manta ray. I want to take you home.
Okay, everyone. We have a lot of people today, so let's play something easy and simple. Today's game is... Dun, dun, dun.
End of the chapter.
30 minutes in, bullshit.
Taking this off. Ugh, my head. So hot. So hot.
Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help clean up after the barbecue. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay, okay. Was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny? Man, oh man! Kei-chan's face. He was like, how can you still call yourself human? Damn it! And it all worked out when I bought the scissors. If only Satsuko and Rika-chan hadn't betrayed me! It was going great while we had maintained a united front. Satsuko had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh. I warned you about trusting Satsuko. Tomita-kun and Okamu-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Satsuko's traps pretty early on as well. Damn. I was trying to do well enough to make up for you two. And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet. You were going to have the lowest ranked member of the club play a punishment game, weren't you? Shion remarked, as though forcing me to recall something I tried to forget, even for a moment. Is that right? Come to think of it, Maribara-san, when you came up with a punishment game with the president, you looked really heated up. What on earth did you decide on? Earlier, Mion told me to get an Angel Mart uniform ready. Does that have anything to do with it?
Oh god.
You told me to get the biggest size I could find. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were giving me these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. All she could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more she laughed, the more it felt like it was actually funny. Oh god! I lost! Oh my. Maribara-san, what's the matter? You're smiling, crying, and howling. It's okay, he's just pretending not to like it. He can't hide his excitement at the opportunity to gain valuable experience using the punishment game as his excuse. Right? Whoa! What do you mean, valuable experience? See? I held my head in hands, in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a three-letter word. It was... sob. Coach gently put his hands on my shoulders. Was he comforting me? Maribara-san, in times where you must accept hardship, you should imagine that you're a domesticated maid. See? Don't sadistic things seem kind of fun now? Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Right in the face and indulging in his imagination, still holding my shoulders, Coach said, "Oh, master." It started twirling around like a ballerina. I had to wonder what kind of word associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. The first thing that comes into my mind when I think of domestication certainly isn't maids. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, the coach is pretty funny. I'm surprised he can even be a coach. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. And they added that he was a really nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a nice person like that. The coach's questionable revolution slowed to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast. And let us start cleaning up. Maribara-san, you seem quite strong. Would you bring the plates over to the wash basins and clean them? Right on it! I hoisted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clinging to it, and looked for the wash basins. These are heavy! Where are the wash basins? Over there? Figuring I should make it there before my arms gave out, I headed towards it at a trot. A lot of the adults who had been helping out were using the wash basins. So I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them, and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall too, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet there. I initially thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as these, but it would probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet to open up back there. I turned the faucet and water much nicer, looking at it gush forth. Put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand and tried to rub it clean. It didn't go away very well. Here you go. A sponge and dish soap. You can't wash them with just water. It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge and container filled with cleaner to me. Oh, thanks. You should have just put them by the basins left it to grown-ups. You're always doing the right thing. I get the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answer her with a forced smile. I was surprised to learn you're the manager for Namizawa Fighters. I thought you didn't do stuff like that because it's too much of a bother. Yes, it is quite a bother. That's why I've stopped showing up entirely. Didn't Coach say he wanted you to come back? You should pay a visit once in a while. If I feel like it, I guess. Shio made it sound like the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Whoops. Couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with conversation, so I decided to take the my task seriously.
I decided to take to my task seriously.
No, that is not what it said.
It said it.
To take the my task seriously.
Oh.
I'm not bullshit. I read it right. It's just wrong. She had neither offered to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet. Oh, right. I heard something. You were the star player in yesterday's game, weren't you? Satoko hit the home run, so I think she was the real star player. I didn't know she had those kind of reflexes. It surprised me. She's totally different from Satoshi-kun. There's not much doubt that all the athletic ability in the family went to her. Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence. Satoshi-kun? Satoko Hojo's older brother. You know, Satoshi Hojo-kun? Oh, right. You just moved here this year, didn't you, Kei-chan? You wouldn't have ever met him. I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Never met him, but I know a little. After their parents passed away, he transferred to a different school, right? I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did. Transferred? Who said anything like that? I didn't yet realize that Shion's tone had changed slightly. Well, I mean, who was it then? Yeah, I heard it from someone. That he transferred. Who? You said that because you asked someone, right? Who did I ask? I don't really remember. Even so, he transferred, so that's it, right? Not like there's a problem with it. There is one. Does that mean there's a record of its transfer? To another school? And that someone saw it? Or heard about it? Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on this Shion was, but also how startling dangerous her eyes began to look.
Yeah.
Shion? What's up? You look really serious. With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath and pretended to fix her hair and went back to her composed expression from before. I'm sorry, but Kei-chan, you don't know much about Satoshi-kun, so please don't say that he transferred or anything like that. I'm serious. Please. I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have, but I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry. I just sort of heard he transferred and believed it. Was it actually something else? It was, of course. Preceded by his parents, he had left his sister and run away. But I wanted to try to avoid using the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, she hadn't realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming you for anything, Kei-chan. I was being a little harsh. I apologize. I didn't really mind. That was a fib. I was actually a little scared, even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave. Hey, Shion! Right, good luck with those. Looks like your plate is last. That's the last one you need to wash. Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation were we that it got pretty late. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. Whoosh! Violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I realized it, and as the heat had stuck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. Okay, everyone. Can I have your attention? Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks. And with that, another fun day drew to its close. Oh, I can't talk today. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Satoko and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things. People who betray others will one day be betrayed themselves. Never been more true, huh? Meh. You're not the one I want to hear that from, Katie-san.
Raina didn't fall for anyone's tricks. That's how I got second. Second!
Raina doesn't buy into lies very easily. She has a sharp wit. I'm surprised. She seems like she would fall for the first lie to come her way. Funny you should say that, Kei-chan. You desired to prey upon others, and right away you became the prey instead. Make sure you don't fall for those dumb schemes that promise higher returns the more friends you rope in, okay? Yeah. I'll try harder. I won't. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. Reminding me of how we were all such great friends. Anyways, I'm looking forward to Keiichi-san's punishment game. However, can you really implement such a thing? I would think the store manager would have a thing or two to say about it, no?
I wonder. Maybe Keiji-kun would be really cute. Cute! I kind of want to see. Oh.
I am on the edge of my seat. I will trip him up and make him want the floor. That would be great. Ah! Why couldn't I win now of all times? Whenever I think I'll definitely win today and that I'll make someone else play the punishment game, I lose! Is it not enough? Do I not believe hard enough in victory? Oh, ah! The wailing of the loser tastes like sweet honey. How sad. How sad. Pat, pat.
This is how we get stronger, Keiichi-kun. It's like I'm looking at Mi-chan from last year.
Mi-chan last year? Did she always lose and moan about it in the past? Oh, very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president, Mion, was once like that. No need to talk about that. Mion hastily covered Reina's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Sato's sleeve. Okay, we should be going soon. Oh, yes, we must go shopping for dinner, mustn't we? I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home. Alright, bye! See you tomorrow at school! Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
Okay, let's go!
We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it were never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today. Come to think of it, it's still June, huh? We didn't have a rainy season at all this year, like, all of a sudden it's just summer, you know? When I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, of hydran gaze, jungias, and snails. I haven't seen a real rainy season since transferring here. And according to the weather forecast, it's supposed to get more rainy during the first part of the week. They were warning people about heavy showers. Hope it doesn't run into Watsunagashi.
That's right! The rainy season's supposed to be rainy! Rina likes all the rain in the rainy season.
What? So much rain just makes me depressed. Hey, Kei-chan. Huh? Ah! I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child, completely ignorant of what he had been scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion. Satoko had a brother, right? Named Satoshi, I think. What? As soon as I said that name, Satoshi, Reina and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's what they made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. What happened to Satoshi again? Did he move away? That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feign ignorance. Mion turned around to look Reina for assistance. Reina looked between us, then quietly and softly spoke. Wait, did we not tell you? He transferred out. When I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me. Transferred? Who told you something like that?
Huh?
I had only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark. If he really transferred, there would be records of it at school and stuff, right? Is there actually anything like that? Mion and Reina, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Satoko's older brother ran away out of consideration for her. I'm not trying to blame you for anything, okay? I just wanted to ask what happened to Satoshi, that's all. I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. Well, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I'd lashed out of them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day has been so much fun, but now, why did I go and say something that made all that meaningless? Couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough. Let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up. Well, it's not like we were hiding it or lying. I hope you understand that's not what we were trying to do. Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuses of a child who had been presented with evidence of her own mischief. Satoshi, well, he didn't transfer schools, Mion said, resigning herself. But I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize, but right before that...
He won't come back.
No!
What?
No!
Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Reina was extremely clear and resolute. He won't come back. What?
He won't come back home. Ever since that day.
He won't come back? That's a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say that he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought you'd only say it like Reina did if he wasn't capable of coming back. I wouldn't say that when talking about someone who ran away from home. What do you mean he won't come back? Where did Satoshi go?
Don't know.
Reina's word choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold that I couldn't muster a response right away. Well, she's right. After that day, Satoshi hasn't returned home. Mion noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Reina had said. Well, that is... Everyone in the village searched for him, and we even got the police to help us look. Well, they started to think that maybe he ran away. They started to think he maybe ran away? When running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of a letter apologizing to Satoko. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home. The police did an investigation. Satoshi had been earning money at a part-time job and had put some aside, and they learned that on the day he vanished, he withdrew it all. And then at Nagoya Station or something, they spotted someone who looked a lot like Satoshi. He withdrew all his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough to me, but before I could say anything... I think that's a lie. Satoshi-kun didn't run away. Oh.
I think that's a lie. Satoshi-kun didn't run away,
declared Reina shortly. Hey, wait. So if he didn't transfer schools, or move away, and didn't run away from home, then what on earth? Stop it, Reina, Ian whispered to her. Reina, however, continued without interruption. And then she said this.
Because it was Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Huh? A curse? It took some time before I understood what Reina meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little.
Satoshi talked to me before he disappeared.
Oh no!
He said someone was watching him, stalking him. They even followed him home. He told me that when he went to bed, they were standing there at his bedside, looking down at him.
Stop it, Reina.
It's a portent of Oyashiro-sama's curse. There's no doubt. I think somewhere deep down.
God bless you.
Disregard that.
I think somewhere deep down, Satoshi-kun was probably thinking about abandoning Inamizawa and running away. And Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow that.
I said, stop it.
Oyashiro-sama is the guardian deity of Inamizawa. He would never allow anyone to abandon Inamizawa and run away. I apologized for it, but Satoshi-kun probably didn't. He must have been! It must have been Oyashiro-sama's curse!
Oyashiro-sama's curse? I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Police may have said he ran away, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it, not ever. It's just a lie! Told by the self-important people in the village who don't know what to admit whether it was the curse! And whether you not believe in Oyashiro's curse, it's...
Wham! Mion struck Reina in the head. Not in a joking way either. I told you to give it a rest, didn't I? I try to be nice, but you're pushing me to my limits. Pushing her to her limits. Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at that moment. For a few moments after being hit, Reina looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind because after a little while she regained her original calm expression.
Boy, no! Why is Reina going all creepy again?
We arrived at the place we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always split up with Mion here, leaving just Reina and me. Hey, Kei-chan. Didn't I promise to lend you some manga? Wanna come over real quick? Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone.
Oh, I see. Okay, then Reina will go home.
Maybe she realized it, maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Reina quickly said she'd go home before us. Bye, Reina. See you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow. Kichi-kun, don't be too much of a bother now. It's already evening.
I'm just gonna borrow a few books. See ya. Considering the fun day we had, it was a very insipid, lonely parting. Hey, don't worry too much about before. After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Reina. No, I'm not really... I think it was my fault anyway. We weren't trying to hide anything about Satoshi. It's just one of those things that we shouldn't mention, you know? At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interactions with Reina, I understood so well it hurt that I shouldn't ever talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. Oh, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in that at all. That's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Stop this, Casey Marabaro. By the time I tried to warn myself, I had accidentally spoken already. I won't ask ever again. So, could you tell me honestly, what on earth happened to Satoshi? He ran away, right? For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly. Have you ever heard about Oyashiro-sama's curse? Just a little bit. I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Anamizawa that they worship at the shrine we had the barbecue at today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Anamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people who worked on the site died or something, and people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's how it was. Satoshi's dead parents. They were proponents of the dam project. Huh? Wasn't everyone in the village against it? Why would they support the project if they lived here? The dam project, that would flood the entirety of Anamizawa. I heard the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe there were villagers who were supporting it. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on, but not everyone agreed to stand up to the dam proposal. Satoshi's parents were basically the leaders of those who were all for it. Leaders of the ones for it? Satoko and Satoshi's parents? Yeah. The government had gathered a lot of compensation money to exchange for the construction of the dam. There were plenty of people who agreed with the proposal because they wanted the money. Aside from a few households, Anamizawa was in general not very affluent. And not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. It would be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so given the situation. It just happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice. And then, their parents had bad luck. They died in an accident on the day of the festival honoring Oyashiro-sama. So people started to think that maybe it had been Oyashiro-sama's curse. I thought back to what Coach told me today. They went to a nature park in a family outing and fell off from a cliff. So people thought even Satoshi running away from home was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? Well, yeah. Basically. It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details. I don't think I need to explain this, but for Satoko, her parents' accident and Satoshi running away, and all the business about Oyashiro-sama's curse, none of it's a very happy story, you know? Yeah, of course I knew. I can only nod silently. That's why we're not mentioning anything about Satoko's family. Even if someone asks about Satoshi, we just lie and say he transferred schools. You can understand why, right? We wanted to protect Satoko's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry I asked something so careless. When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. Without understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance. Bye then, Mion. Sorry about today. See you tomorrow. Yeah, goodbye. We waved to each other, and suddenly remembering something Mion called out to me. Kei-chan, one more thing. Not only around Satoko, could you keep quiet about Satoshi with Reina too? Huh? I think you realized earlier, but for some reason when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, she gets extremely serious. Ever since she transferred here. Yeah, judging by how Reina was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Mion interrupted the conversation for us.
Why is it always Reina?
But if Mion hadn't been here, what might have happened? Why would Reina be so serious about it? Not only Reina either, but Shion too. I don't know. Reina's... Oh, this is a secret, okay? If you tell anyone, we're not friends anymore. You emphasized this as her expression clouded even further. I won't tell. What's this about Reina? She says she's been a victim of Oyashiro-sama's curse before. Huh? Well, it may sound mean, but I think it might be a bad case of persecution complex or some kind of wrong assumption. But she says so herself, so I believe her. If I poke fun at it, she gets pretty upset. Reina jokes around all the time, but she's really scared when she's mad. I get it. Don't talk about it in front of Reina. Right. About Satoshi. Yeah. If possible, I think we shouldn't talk about this ever again. For her sake. And for Satoko's. For everyone else's, too. If I must say, for your own sake, too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mio made sure I knew that. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Thanks. Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I watched her go, a little dazed, then started walking myself.
You're gonna run into Reina.
Satoko's older brother, Satoshi. Did he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me and I fervently tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow just to be as fun as today, too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday. Today we had a blast at the big barbecue party, too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all of those fun times. I would have to be more careful starting tomorrow. I would put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell I'm gonna let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. But the more I thought that I'd be more careful starting tomorrow, the more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I had already put an end to those enjoyable days with what I had just done. Hey, wait. Calm down, Keiji Marabara. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. It doesn't make any sense to think my life would be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be a fun day, as fun as today. I'm acting weird. I'm thinking a little bit too much about that conversation. Wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long.
Boy, why does Reina have to do that again?
So, my thoughts are, Reina being cursed by Oishiro-sama transferring here is a constant.
Yeah.
That is a constant factor that will always play out in every scenario. Oh god, we have 3 tips.
It's okay, that means they'll be short.
Hopefully. This chapter was shorter than usual. Barely went over an hour. Shion-san, why don't you help out a little? Are you asking a girl to carry something heavy? This is why you still haven't found a nice lady at your age, Coach. Well, you see, times like these, here's what people say. Ahem. It's none of your business. He was loading the station wagon with heaps of equipment we'd used for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their way. Alright, so Shion-san, why did you come all the way here? If you rode here on your bike, I can give you a lift. I did, but I'll be fine riding back. I appreciate your consideration. I was glad you came today. Things don't quite fit together without the manager here. Am I still the manager? I've been shirking my duty for an entire year, so maybe you should just fire an incompetent manager already. Alright. If you say you want to quit, then I'll fire you whenever you want. Yeah, that's not fair. Let me go soon, please. Every time I don't show up at a game, I get an annoying phone call and I can't stand those. If you were more honest with yourself, Shion-chan, you'd be far cuter. Your father is so sad. Where did he go so wrong as to deserve such a rebellious daughter? Oh, perhaps if your father catches you in a big, loving embrace, you'll open your eyes. Well then, don't mind if I do. Come here. Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding. Nothing's changed. You're still a weirdo, Coach, and everyone's still lively as ever. Even though Satoshi-kun isn't here? Is that what you wanted to say? He'll come home. I'm sure of it. He has someone waiting for him. Huh. Say whatever you want. He sure is cruel, isn't he? Going off to who knows where? Leaving such a cute girlfriend behind?
Oh.
Huh? Girlfriend? Who? Who? Huh? Jeez. Quit laughing already. Coach! Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while. We'll see each other again. Please come and root for us once in a while, okay?
That's why she doesn't go to the games anymore.
If I feel like it. I have no desire to be the manager anymore after all. That's fine. If you don't like it, I'll fire you. I'm not the kind of person who likes forcing people to do things against their will. Sure. Alright, fine, fine. I'm sorry. You win this round. If I feel like it, I'll come root for you, so for today, just be patient. Whoops. That time already? It's past time to return all this. I'm already making them wait for me. I'll be leaving for today, then. Let's meet again in the next game. Yes, if I feel like it. Goodbye, Coach.
Okay, so thing that
Shion has a thing for Satoshi.
She had a thing for Keiichi.
Because Keiichi is very much like Satoshi. She's expressing her feelings for Satoshi onto Keiichi. Makes sense. Makes sense because she does feel like she does feel kind of abandoned for Satoshi leaving.
Yep.
And she sees Satoshi in Keiichi and wants to try to recapture that. That makes sense.
And she was a part of the baseball team because Satoshi was on it, and like the coach said.
And ever since he disappeared, she wants nothing to do with it.
Yep, in exactly a year.
So we know that now. Shion. We know Reina's a constant factor of being crazy. Shion is a constant factor of liking Satoshi.
And Keiichi.
Basically both.
Yeah.
She likes their personality. I basically think they have the same person. I imagine they're basically the same person.
Yeah.
They seem like the same person. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. Uh-oh. Number 1. Entire body bound in restraints. Traces left behind from when the body seemed to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on the other hand appeared to have been bound especially tight. Highly likely the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. 2. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Lovely. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to suggest there was at least one or more other than the one who severed these body parts holding down the victim's head, so more than one person. Possible that multiple blades were used, which one of them most likely being scissors or shears. 3. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of finger on each hand for a total of 30. The deceased fingers were nailed to wooden planks 20 centimeters long. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely that the table was originally designed for just such a purpose. 4. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been technique grounded in the medical methodology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. After all, after this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of the process. Very similar to the Watanagashi Cotton Drifting Festival, when you take the hoe and remove the stuffing from the mattress.
And they said in the last one that
that's because they do that because the original ritual was actually removing the guts from a human corpse.
Yep.
So this is ritualistic. Watanagashi ritualistic kill. 5. Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Oiji River's third drain. Alright, we're back to the beginning. When a body was found at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. So this is going back to the group mentality of multiple people in the village are in on it.
Mm-hmm.
To Oishi-san.
Hey!
Here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the Oji River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having a possible relationship to the S group.
Who is the S group?
This is the first time we're hearing the S group.
You know what it might mean? It might mean Mion's family, because doesn't their last name start with S?
Sonozaki.
Yes.
Ooh. This could relate to the Sonozaki family. What are your thoughts, Oishi-san? Okay, that's very insightful. Now, this at the beginning of the chapter, it did say this would be the hardest to make conjectures.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to make conjectures. Although I can't say I have a safe conjecture just yet, but it definitely... This ritual sets up the Sonozaki family once again as likely suspects for at least this murder.
Yeah.
Still don't know who the victim is, though. Or when this is taking place.
Nope.
When this kill took place. Could be in the future.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very Oishi-san laugh. There it is, Ron. 3 chun, 3 Dora Mangan with 15 extra. 1500 extra.
Yep.
What? What's up with that? How do you have 3 Dora? You idiot! You're the one who flipped over another Condora when you knew Oishi was in Tenpai. That's what you get! Getting more Dora was the only thing I could do after revealing the chun. You can't discard a Dora tile after Yakuhai is out. Oishi grinned meaningfully as his buddies, swearing, began breaking down the walls and reforming them. By the way, Oishi-san, figure it out yet? What? Oh, the murdered body in the drainage channel. Any new clues come up? Yes, well, you are the one collecting the evidence here. I should have expected that. Who was the deceased? Rina Mamiya. Rina Mamiya. Actual name, Noriko. Apparently she worked for the Blue Mermaid, a hostess bar in Shishibone Flower Road. Oh wow, that place, huh? A younger leader of the Sonozaki owns it? Yeah? Sonozaki. Whoops. So it's related to the S group?
Bingo.
That mountain will be tough to scale. Rumors say the deceased had her hands in both drug dealing and money to be paid to the government. And on a pretty significant scale, too, from what I've heard. Woman getting her hands on Yakuza tax money. Sounds like a man's behind it. Not a lot of women do that sort of thing themselves. Well, she's dead now. Dead can't have anything to do with it. About that, Oishi-san. Our man's apparently alive. Alive? Then maybe he'll die soon. From usually exterminating other vermin. I think we have a very nice self-cleansing system going on. Anyway, her man... It's, well... Teppei Hojo. It was Satoko's mom! Either that or her dad had a mistress. That or her dad's cheating. Hojo? Who's that? Teppei Hojo. The husband of the housewife who was beaten to death last year. It is a...
Oh, man.
Oh, God. So, Satoko's mom getting beaten to death is constant.
Then what
I already disappeared after the incident, though. I get it. He... What?
What happened to the story of them falling off a cliff?
Lies. Irie made it up. Either that or that is the story everyone's saying. It's a lie. I get it. He was trying to stay at his lover's place, huh? So the Sonozakis grow ever more suspicious. Where is he now? He was living in a women's apartment. He must have thought she abandoned him, so he's been searching around shops and other gathering places.
Okay, here's my theory.
Okay,
Here's
go on.
my theory.
So we know the victim is, I guess the mistress for Teppei, Satoko's dad. Because Judge, I think it's hard to say when exactly this takes place. Because they say Satoko's dad is alive. But they also said the mother died a year prior. This has to take that has to take place a year prior. Because so
I feel like
last year's Watson Nagashi. The mother dies, the brother disappears. Okay, so this takes place this year.
Yeah. So this is the body that they found of Teppei's lover.
Or is it Rika-chan's parents that died last year? Was it Rika-chan's or no? It had to be Satoko's. It had to be Satoko's.
It was Satoko's parents last year. The year before that was Rika's, and then the year
before that was the
dam manager.
Dam manager, or it was the yeah, I guess it was dam manager because it was 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago the dam project was proposed.
And then, so what my theory is the Mion's family, the Sonozakis, are not only killing people, but they're also running drug trade in the company. In this,
the Sonozaki family is, I believe, they're Yakuza, or very similar to Yakuza.
What is that?
Yakuza.
Oh, okay. And I think they're just using this curse
as a cover-up.
As a cover-up to anyone that disagrees with them. Or tries to overstep their bounds.
You don't think there's any spiritual elements at all? Because I am still willing to believe the Sonozaki being solely exclusive as the perpetrator is a red herring. I think it's still a curse.
It could still be a curse.
I still think it's a curse.
Because
think about Reina and her obsession with the curse.
But that could just be a psychological thing.
It could be psychological.
Because remember, she tore up her whole...
She tore up her whole school.
Yeah.
Broke every window. Beat kids.
Yeah.
Not to death, but very critically wounded.
Why would that happen out of Hanamizawa?
She said she was cursed for leaving Hanamizawa. So she came back. She pleaded to her parents to come back so she wouldn't be cursed anymore.
Yes. Because she wanted to be in a place that she knew.
That's why I think it's more spiritual elements.
It could be.
It could be a medical condition, but I think there are... I'm still leaning on curse. I'm still betting on curse. Or aliens.
Aliens?
Aliens.
How?
It's gonna be aliens.
Just drop that in.
Little gray man. He's gonna be like, I'm over here, Sama.
I've been controlling your minds. It's great technology. You should.
So we are learning. We learned a truth.
That what?
Satoko's dad is alive.
We don't know if
it's very possible that Satoko's dad is alive.
Oh, but they're keeping it from everyone.
They're keeping it from everyone. The fact that the woman that he was staying with was killed means they're on to him. Meaning, I think Satoko's dad has a role still to play. I think her dad still has a role to play. Whatever that role may be, I don't know. What role does Teppei have?
You know what? Maybe the three main families could just be demons. That's another...
Because if you think about it, the demon tattoo that Mion has on her back, or Shion, I don't understand who was alive by the end.
It was Mion.
Was it Mion?
Yeah, because Mion was the one that was...
But then you get to the end at the nighttime scene, and part of me thinks that was Shion. One of them has been dead for weeks. Since the Watson Nagashi Festival.
I don't know.
It could have been Shion dead the whole time.
And Mion was just playing her part.
Yeah. It's hard to make conjectures at this point. But I think we're getting some more pieces to the puzzle. It'll be great when we finally get to the answer arcs. We're still in the question arcs.
And we're just like, oh!
Trying to find links that are probably dead wrong.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see you guys in the next video. I wonder if we're gonna get to Watanagashi on the next one.
I feel like
it's either the next one or the next one after that.
Yeah.
Watanagashi Festival is coming soon. I can already tell.
Because we've already had a freak out by Reina.
Reina's already freaking out. Keiichi is uneasy.
I feel like
Mion is uneasy. Everyone's uneasy right now.
You know what I love about this one though?
What?
It feels like it's moving a lot faster.
Yeah, because this is chapter 4.
Yeah.
This is it's like chapter 4 of this
so
scenario.
it feels like they don't have to go over the backstory of every little thing.
Because we didn't learn, there was no creep factor at all in Onikakushi until chapter 7.
Yeah.
Or 6, I don't know.
And in this one, it was like, oh, I knew what Onikakushi.
I know the Watanagashi Festival is like. There's a lot of. I know this already.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. But the weird thing to me is, in every scenario, Keiichi learns about the Watanagashi and the dam project from different people. It's interesting to me.
Maybe it's like a consistency of stories from everyone. So
I guess Keiichi learning about the dam project and the Watanagashi Festival is consistent, but who he learns it from is irrelevant, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. I can live with that.
Well, we've gotten...
It just seems like Tomitake-san giving him the information is much more relevant. It like... The fact that he just learned it from students makes me think that it's all irrelevant, who he learns it from. But the fact that it was Tomitake in the first one...
And then Tomitake was
and then
the one...
Shion in the second one... It makes me think that...
The
people that are involved about what they know are the ones that die.
Yeah.
But then, with this one... He just heard about it. Unless you count Mion.
Well...
Or, to a lesser extent, Irie.
That's what I was thinking. Irie is going to be the Tomitake in this one.
You think Tomitake's not going to show up at all?
Because...
To be frank, Tomitake doesn't really have a role in this one. He had very much... He did not have really a role at all in the second one.
He knew Mion in the second one. And, that girl. No, the girl...
what was her name?
I don't remember her name. I feel bad.
She seems important, though. She's important.
It started with a T, didn't it? I think it started with a T. We can go back and look.
Probably.
Alright.
Well, before we dally on any longer in conjectures and speculations, we'll see you guys in the next one. If you don't know anything, if you don't know the end or what happens, feel free to put your own conjectures if you're at the same point we are, what your thoughts are. If you have, please no spoilers.
Don't spoil us. We don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want this to happen.
Or if you have gotten that, if you do know the ending, say what your thoughts were at this point.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Well,
get more thoughts. All right, so we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.